Hello. In two previous videos you were able to learn, witness, testify, see for yourself for exactly what steps have this so-called Slovenian, communist, pro-Yugoslav, pro-Serbian, self-elected scum government, in a parenthesis, taken in order to not only disrupt me when complaining about total denial of the right to existence, but to literally get me behind bars, in prison, on false charges, with pure intention, or to kill me, murder me. After assassination attempts have already taken place in the past, as explained. Now I'm referring to period in so-called Slovenia since November 2010, it's now November 2011, which did not differentiate it in any way from 18-month period in 2006, 2007, 2008, upon my first return from United States of America to so-called Slovenia after 11 and a half years. And I'm going to accent here return on my own. First return on my own, as previously extraordinary abduction, rendition have taken place. You have already learned about existing bond, or to what I would rather refer to as interests, between my parents' sister and a government who wanted to see me dead at all costs. And I believe it's now time for me to expand view on my parents' role per what exactly government expected from them in this case, or what instructions have they exactly taken from government on how to act against me in order to gradually, as I stated, not only destruct me when complaining, but to literally get me murdered, killed. So I'm about to go back to everything I have mentioned previously, anywhere from internet charges, and then to fishing trip, which have turned instead into a life lesson speech, intimidation, harassment, challenging police officers, stalking, and so on. And as I stated previously, let's start with the internet services first. The idea behind was to create what would be primarily gratitude issue toward my father, who have offered and provided substantial internet afterwards. Therefore, after that first month that I was charged $500 for something that I haven't even committed, government have actually expected me to psychologically rely on him and express him as a gratitude his service, internet service that he have provided. If we go to fishing trip, which have turned into a life lesson speech instead, where game warden was used as in situation where one first of all attempted to intimidate per illegal issues, and then what would be some sort of authority and wisdom with which government basically psychologists, psychiatrists have hoped for, how they would establish something, some sort of attraction, something that they could grab on and then basically build upon, and get me somehow steered away from 40 years of a genocide, from being experimental rat for 40 years. Rat that would simply forget about what exactly had taken place against her and would move on based on other authority. Quasi means imaginary authority, which government refer to as well as economy. So therefore they have craved for something that would be able to continue to build on and create enough issues, or worthy issues, inside of my head that would basically throw or let it go everything that have taken place against her, and just like lunatic go after something that did not basically exist at all. And I actually still count on that. But anyhow, yeah, father was the one who immediately afterwards offered his influence, his help, his mediation, his ability to handle this situation at the local board, at the local committee, fishing committee, that would simply erase that charge as if never existed, and what I have also dismissed his offered help, because violation did not exist at all. And his crimes, his mindless, inhumane, pedophile-like crimes can simply not be substantiated with lies built, created simply by governmental psychiatrists, liars, criminals, who crave for some kind of a recognition, because for them crime and lie is basically what is accepted. Tolerated crime and lie is ultimate recognition, is what it is. Now if we move to police stalking, challenging, bullying, intimidating, harassments, which have taken place during my exercise walks. Harassments which are basically used to not only to disrupt me, to irritate me. To irritate means basically to confuse, to disturb person. But to literally compel me psychologically in some form of what would be humbleness, that I would put my tail down after the whole world have already pissed on me, after 6 years of forceful unemployment, being treated like a dog, going through everything that I went. I would put my tail down and be more humble about it. About what exactly would be I humble about? That's something the government simply did not ever manage to figure out, or was able to make me forget. Is nothing, and that's the biggest issue. However, for them it would be like an ultimate recognition how they were able to accomplish further abuse based on nothing. That's how the government psychologists, psychiatrists work. It's just people say, I have mentioned previously referring to them as criminals. But they are criminals. They're not beasts, because beasts have certain nature, and that requires from them to be beasts. And these are not beasts. These are not people. They are criminals, but criminals of the worst kind. These are really bottom of the chain, bottom of anything that ever existed in this planet. So anyhow, this harassments, intimidations from these police officers and so on were basically used to upgrade abuse at home, as my parents had their own duty to engage in this crime against me, this genocide against me. And what they were trying to do was they would very oftentimes they would use what was like severe intimidation. And I don't know how much do you comprehend that at all, but being incarcerated, literally incarcerated, without having any rights at all, and being treated like garbage by some imbecile, some trash, as my parents are, without any education at all, would have as a result, naturally, what would be some sort of reactions would be produced by that. And those reactions would have as an outcome possible overeating or abnormal eating habits and so on. And that's exactly what was anticipated. Okay, not only you are not allowed to go exercise and so on, but then other issues were also loaded on top of that, so they would gradually accomplish that total destruction or ruin of the human being. On or upon each of those irritations that were produced by my parents, which have gone as far as basically telling me how I have no right to think. You have no right to think. You have no right to think. Continually, you have no right to think. Or on almost every conversation, we would end up with, before we would even start it, you are thinking wrong. You are thinking wrong. And it was really designed to bully. But anyhow, on each and every one of those irritations, challenging, bullying, special food diets followed up, like foods that would have special a lot of carbohydrates, sweets, heavy calories, or salty food. You know, only possible filled with the fat. Like something like pizza, like something that really clogs your veins, on top of you're not being allowed to even go for a walk and so on. That's pretty much what was used. Other than that, I can tell you about special telephone that was amplified and is amplified to the point where, and when the normal individual can hear one like 5-6 houses down the road from here, which would continually ring. Very often this telephone would go off and off and off and off. I can tell you about special doorbell ring, which is amplified, and the only place you can get one like this is at a police station or fire station. I simply haven't seen anything like this in my lifetime, in any house, in any residence, that anyone would have anything like that. But it's a special doorbell, which when you ring, you could probably hear one at the end of the village, I would say, almost. I think that's pretty irritating, especially when you have people deliberately punching that stuff literally with the purpose to intimidate, to irritate. As you're about to see on the video, perhaps what was irritating was a blasting TV that blasted throughout the walls 24/7, 2 rooms down from here. That would pretty much drive person nuts. You know, when you were trying to concentrate yourself, you would probably, you know, go off for that reason. Perhaps, I don't know, blasting the doors continually, or running back and forth and smashing the doors and so on. Perhaps that will be irritating. Or maybe 4 or 5 cellular phones, or as many as they have had, ringing all the time, yelling on the phone luridly for hours when on the phone with their relatives. Perhaps that would drive you crazy. But listen, what is that you're complaining yourself about having what is only 6 years of forceful joblessness, or over 30,000 jobs denied? That's nothing. Let me tell you, let me be honest with you. My parents have worked so hard all their life, from 6 to 2 o'clock, from 7 to 3 o'clock, from Monday to Friday. Worked so hard for the pay that I haven't seen, as educated as I am, and who have worked as much as 140 hours a week in my life. I haven't seen pay like this, or life like this, or have anything like this in my life. But worked so hard. And I'm about to later talk to you about nursery, Walnuts Nursery, that my father, who is so devoted to his life, still have at his age, and is so hard working and doing everything, and such an exemplary citizen as he is. It really is. Nursery and his work, Walnut Nursery harvesting that he does is no different than internet service, or that game warden that gave me a life speech, life lesson, or those police officers who were intimidating me, bullying me, harassed me, stalking me over there, and so on and so forth. You know what it is? It's just a real alibi, is what it is, for all his crime that he have committed.
At the beginning here, let's start at the beginning of the property. What is this here? This is the entrance to the property. It says harvestry for walnuts in cooperation with Biotechnical Faculty of Maribor, Department for Agronomy, and so on. Anyhow, now let's go see the property a bit. What we have here, this is actually a vehicle that new fiancé from my sister's daughter, from my niece, bought it. But we're going to discuss about this later on, how and so on. This is just from the neighbor here. This is not vehicle from here. Anyhow, so you can see a lot of fruits, and just as that title stated, at the entrance of the property we have here what is a little nursery, harvestry for walnuts. There you go. See that? There you go. And who does it all? Who does all this work here? This hard work? My father does it all. He's a very, very, very hard-working man. At least this is how he would like the world to see him. But that's not exactly what it is. Everything but that, actually. Now let's continue here, and we're going to see the rest of this property. This is another little house, sub-house, of the big house that he had built, that my father had built. Not really. This money was from somewhere else and so on. But this is a little house which he is using to stack with work material and so on. Now let's continue this excursion. And so we go to the giant property here that one man had and played with and screwed around with, while the rest of us, actually only myself, had to leave this place, this damned, diabolic place at age 23, United States of America, where a job was waiting for me as a busboy, 140 hours per week. But you know what? Anything just to get away from the people that we're gonna be talking about here. Let's continue this excursion. So we have here beautiful boating area. This is next to the river. There's a boat parked here. Special ramp for the boat. You know, things as such, that this person, what he wants me to call him a father, would not even allow me to use this boat to do exercise. The boat that costs 200-300 euros, whatever that is. I'm not even allowed to take one down the river. But that's exactly how it is here. Since 2010, November, when I arrived here, I was pretty much locked inside of their room, where the stuff that you're about to see were taking place. He was paying me for the internet after the charge appeared, as I mentioned to you, illegal charge where government attempted to charge me the amount of 300 euros, 450, 500 US dollars. And that's exactly why that charge appeared. That charge appeared, so I wouldn't have enough money to pay all costs by myself, and was definitely compelled to accept his stinking internet, which you're about to see was substantiated during this year with a severe abuse. So I'll pay you the internet, but I will screw you in your head. So you won't be not only able to create the internet, but we will literally kill you, was the deal. I took it, I made the best out of it. So really, really great way to intimidate a person is probably with his doorbell, which I think is something unheard. I don't know if they have anything like this even in the fire station or anything like that. But this is one of the disturbances basically that was used here to really screw me. I'm gonna leave the camera here, go downstairs and ring one time so you can hear just the intensity of this monster here. The second thing would be to discuss is this telephone right here. This tool was basically used to drive individual literally nuts, and I don't know if I stated or not. This is the telephone specially made and can be heard almost in the center of the village, and I'm about to show you how this works. It is. There you go. How do you like this? Anyhow, what is also interesting is that a simple door opening from my room, which I'm about to open right now, is extremely destructive to him and causes him what is madness. Madness, uncontrollable anger, that is. He can hear this door, but he cannot hear the TV, which I'm about to take and show you. So this here would cause uncontrollable madness. He would be able to hear this door opening at any time, at night, at day, at any time. At night, if this door gets open, it's because, according to him, it's because I'm bullying him, and so on and so forth. So this is my little room where I did my job. It's 3 times 3 meters.
Skupina evnuhov, ki se je kasneje zbrala pred bolnišnico, pa je vztrajala, da je žrtev še veliko več in da želi bolnišnično osebje resnično število prikrit.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look into this fridge, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. And you see what you see here, these are all yogurts that are filled with the drugs inside. And the same thing is here. Those are all yogurts. Everything you see here, all of a sudden, yogurts appeared out of nowhere that are used to fill this fridge with drugs, which would have sleeping effect, basically would put you to sleep. And that's what they thought that I wouldn't realize what they have set me up with. But yeah, I did. It worked for about a week. I was constantly asleep. Okay, I think this explains quite a lot, and this is exactly from my window, so you're not gonna really doubt that this is insane here, what is going on. And for months. Okay, so this is just an example of landlord-tenant conditions which I have undergone, which I was forced to undergo here in Karlstad, Sweden, with a gypsy landlord who is mainly subcontracted by General Electric or Americans. And that's how I got to Karlstad. I didn't have any choice but to land here. I just really thought it would be handy for you to hear the conditions. Today's Sunday. I thought it would be nice to show what's taking place here.